Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Tease Time. I'm TJ. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have our shower fixtures, our shower head, our water mix handle that's getting installed. This is what I have for my shower head. I have a Moen. That's the part number. If you're interested, if you're doing the same thing I am, I'm using a 1/2 inch PEX. I have a 1/2 inch pipe threads to a 1/2 inch the push shark bites. The shark bites are nice just because there's no special tools really required, just a deburring tool and a cutter. But this is the shower head I'm putting in. This is the mix cover. The mix right here, cold, hot, and then I have the one that goes out to the shower head right there. And then I have various tools, hole saws, shower head for the mix. This requires a 4.5 inch hole. So I have a 4.5 inch hole saw. And then also a drill. I'm gonna make some pocket holes with the 2x4 out there for the simple fact of behind like the little the water mix valve right here. I need to mount it to the wall. Just so I had something secure to mount to, because behind the wall I have it like uncovered. When I drill the hole, it's gonna be like a big gaping hole like so, but I want to be able to put like a 2x4 going in between right here, just so the the water mix valve has something to secure to, so if you turn that handle, you don't have to like worry about it like moving or tweaking or getting out of place. So that's what the 2x4 and the pocket hole jig sets for, and then the drill of course, and a tape measure. I need to find my tape measure because we just need to measure, make sure we get things lined up. I want my shower head to hit inside of this rib right here, just so like that has something to secure to too, because there's going to be two screws that have to screw into the rear mount for the shower head to swivel into. Yeah, so be mindful. You have to gain access to behind your, or have access to behind the wall of the shower if you're using this. So for me, it's simple because I have my access panel. I have it removed. I'm kind of in the process of, we're getting paint situated. And since I have to get all the dust out of here, I decided like I might as well just do the install in between. Just so I have like as much sawdust flying as possible in here now. So it just kind of saves on like one cleaning. Like I'm done. I am going to have to clean again on the sink fixtures whenever the countertop goes in. I have to drill a hole, but I could drill a hole outside before I put it in. I still have to figure out what I want for my the faucet. I still have to figure that out anyway. But let's get to the install. We're gonna measure, we're gonna get stuff marked up where I need to drill my holes, and we'll get into installing this. So then we actually could have running water, because I do have these are capped off. This is where the water will come into the sink area, so that's capped off, and all our plumbing is done on the bottom. So in theory, if I connect the shower, connect the lines, put water in the storage tanks, I can at least check for leaks to make sure like all our water lines are good. And then I can even have like running water with that temporarily until like the actual sink comes. And that would be a great day. But let's get to the install. All right, so this is all the marks for the holes. This is our mix valve. That's for our shower head. This one right here, the one that's closer in, I measured between the shower rod and the back wall to get that centered for that. And the same with that. And then the instructions, it says from the floor to the top shower head, the hole you have to drill about 78. And then for the bottom, the mix about 45. So I aimed for 45, and I was like at 77.5, just so this hits into that beam. So everything is by the instructions, and then it just says a 4.5 inch hole for right here. And then for the hole up top, I'm going to use, what did I decide on? I'm using 1 1/8 hole saw for our shower head hole. So right now, just drill the holes, and then I'll show you I'll show you the fittings that I have that I'm going to use to do the install. But let me get these holes drilled. All right, so all the holes are drilled. This hole right here, the 4.5 inch, there's that 1 1/4 or 1 1/8 hole, I believe. Look back at the beginning of this video, you'll get a better answer. But the round ground sits in this hole, and this is just to kind of help keep it fixed into place. I'm not gonna push that in completely, but that holds that in place. And then luckily for me, like I have room on the back side, so I can push it through from the back. I'm gonna put the fittings on, and I'm gonna push it in from the back side, and then I'm gonna get my 2x4 and then cut the piece to go across, so we have something to screw into. And it's gonna screw into those two holes right there. So when I have that aligned, then I'll be able to pop that off, push that through the front, send my screws through to keep that tight where it's supposed to go, and then put the little plastic green piece back on the front, and then we'll end up snapping this off. Take that little metal ring that's behind there that protects that little valve off. And these are the fittings that I have to use. I'm using a shutoff. It's going to be on the cold and the hot side. And then I'm going to throw the 90 degrees right here, like so, to go down or get where it needs to go. And this goes to the top piece, to your shower head. I'm going to put that on right so, send it through from the back side of the wall, and we're going to screw it in with those two holes right there to keep that in place. And then also you do need like Teflon tape. I like to make sure everything is like food safe, food grade type stuff that's okay for that, even though it's just for showering. And it's just a bunch of various fittings. I have a T because I'm going to have to splice into like the cold side. I have to do a split. I have to finish the plumbing behind the wall. So that's why I have that. But you'll just need various fittings to get it situated, and it depends on the setup you have. If you're like have copper to copper, or I'm using PEX without, like I'm using a shark bite, but there's like various different fittings. So this might be a little different, but like the main thing is just drilling the holes and getting that situated and getting this set up square so that sits properly, and that we have something for our valves to seat properly to seal around the wall. So we have that, and right now I'm gonna go and assemble everything off with the Teflon tape, and then we'll get everything mocked up, and we'll get that mounted. And I do have to still cut the 2x4 still and put some pocket holes in that. But yeah, let's get it. All right, so I believe that's the hard part. Well, we have everything assembled. I got the shutoffs. I'm gonna do a 2x4 horizontal and vertical against this, a 2x4 running up like so that the valve still can function, and then a 2x4 going to frame going that way. And then this will sit in right here. So that's gonna go like so, and then up top, this goes like so, and then that will mount to the wall like that. All right, that's the shower head. That's in. There's Teflon tape I put right here, even though there's a rubber gasket in there, just to be on the safe side. So that's done. And then for the grommet right here, usually you can use like a clay. I just put a caulk behind it just to press it in place, just so it sticks and it's sealed. And if need be, I could just pry that off to have that come off. And on the back side, the most important part, I try to get this as vertical up and down as possible. It's mounted in, so it's not going anywhere, so that way if we have to adjust our head or whatever on the other side, we don't have to worry about that moving. So right now we just need to get this situated. Like I said, 2x4 is going to make a little mount for it, just so like it doesn't move, and then we could get that adjusted to where we need it to sit, so that way like the handles and everything sit flush and they're correct. So that will give us some movement for that to kind of in and out with that. So right now I'm just gonna measure. I'm gonna cut some 2x4s, get some pocket holes situated, and then I'll show you what I have. All right, this is what I'm going for right here. This is our mixed valve. Behind it I put a piece of 2x4. I got some screws started, and then this is gonna go behind it, and then we could adjust how we have to push it in or out, just so we get our valve, our handle to sit where it needs to sit. And I already went ahead I got 2 screws started there. I'm gonna throw 2 more here just so it makes life a little easier when I put it in there. So that way I just have to screw it in. Just start it a little bit. All right, just like that, just so it holds it in place, so I don't have to worry about dropping more screws back there. And then we just have to get this in place, and then when I do, I'll be able to screw that straight through, and that should hold it where it needs to be. Like so. That's what it'll look like fully assembled on the wall. All right, so that's mounted. This is what we have. It actually still lines up where it needs to. I don't want to push it all the way in. Or do we need to push it all in? Let me check the instructions. I think everything is aligned how it's supposed to. We just have to see the next step with this right here. If we have to snap this off, and if we need to adjust the temperature. For my water heater, it has actual temperature set on it. So I'm going to max that out to the hottest. And yeah, because I can set the temperature on my little thermostat for the hot water heater, so we don't have to worry about it like burning you. You set it to where you set it, and that's it. But let me see what I have to do to finish up this, and this will be complete. We can get this cover on, get that situated, and we'll have water as soon as I connect the shark bite fittings. So we have to have a piece coming from here straight up to there. Cold side, I believe, is right here. Hot side is that side. We'll connect that stuff. We'll have our lines. And yeah, water is coming. All right, so I went through the instructions to figure out exactly what, because there are like these little just imagine the face covering is on here. I don't have it on here. It'll come with these two. These are the temperature safeties. This goes in like so. This follows, and of course the face plate will be down first. And this is what captures the handle. This goes on like so. Like so, and then your handle will go like so, and counterclockwise is hot, so you would turn that all the way to it stops, and then you will measure your temperature from the hot water coming out. If it exceeds the temperature that you don't want, you would take this off, you would take this and you'll rotate it this way clockwise to drop the temperature so it doesn't exceed the temperature that you want. But if you want a max temperature will be lined up like so. And it'll be like so, and then you rotate back, and that's the original start. That's off. So that's how that works. So if you don't actually even need, so you probably don't actually even need this on here if you don't mind like the temperature being at max, and this will actually keep the handle in closer to the wall. Like I might need to adjust the 2x4 in the back to push it in further back, and I'll show you why. So like this goes in like so, this goes on like so, the cover goes over, that silver piece stays on there because there's a gasket on the cover that goes over that. So the gasket goes like so, and then you would take this, put it like so, like so, and then it's fixed like that in the resting spot like so. And of course you have your screw holes to tighten that in, so that way it tightens that seal that goes around to keep the water out. And there's the bottom, there's like a little opening for water to drain out if it does get in there. And then the handle goes like so. So like as I was saying, like if I want that to go further in, I go adjust the 2x4, and I will pull that in closer. And that's probably like, even like if it's like 1/4 of an inch, if we want to be picky, we could get that to go a little further in if we wanted to. So it just depends on how picky you are with how that rests. I'm not too sure if I want to play with that. or do I want to leave it like so? Because like once it's attached, it's assembled like that, it'll go hot, off. So that's how that works. Not sure. I'm just trying to think of like me inside, if like that 1/4 of an inch makes a difference enough where it's like it's limited in here where you can do what you got to do, you know, and it's just like right below like my elbow, like rotating. So actually I'm probably just gonna leave it. Like, if need be, I can adjust it. For me to adjust it, it'll just be taking the 2x4 off right here and just sliding it back a little bit. But everything is in there. It's sturdy, it's not moving, so it's good. So let me finish putting the faceplate on, and then I need to attach some shark bite, some 1/2 inch PEX lines. All right, that side is done. And this little center ring, you could keep that in place. If you want to keep it in place, just snap off this cover and it'll stay in there. It'll be rested in there just to help keep it like centered. You could do it for extra support, or you could remove it, or if it's not as sturdy how you have it mounted. But I think it's fine. Like, if I figure out or decide that is giving me any issues with movement or anything, I'll throw the ring back in, but like I don't need it, so I'm just gonna keep it off. And then now let's connect some dots behind the wall. And bada boom, bada bing, the shower head mix is installed. We have our PEX lines all ran. This is what I have right here. This goes to the shower head. This drops down to our mix valve. I threw this one-way valve going in just because I didn't have enough PEX with me. That's a storage I'm prepping for paint. That's why it's kind of cleared out in here. So this will do until like I get more line, or if this causes any interference, because there will be like a slight pressure drop with a check valve versus just like straight pipe. Not much, but something. And that goes, the same thing applies with like 90-degree angles. So the less 90 degrees you have, the better a flow. So keep that in mind. And I did put the sticker that's recommended to put on like the supply line. I just put it here just so I know like the model in future, or if whoever's in here knows. Then we're kind of going backwards. So it splits. Well, let's start from the beginning. So my water, it comes in here. This is just a screen to catch like particles. Like if there's big particles, it'll catch before it goes into the water pump. The water pump goes right in here. This is kind of like an accumulator tank valve to kind of take the pulse out of the water supply from the water pump, because without this right here, the water will like fluctuate. So this will give a steady flow. And then from here, we have a T. This is for our hose, or our what is this? Our what is the word I am looking for? That's a supply from like a water hose. Trying to think of the right word for that. The water supply, our city water supply. So city water supply, that comes in right here. So it's all T's. There's a one-way valve right here, so that way when the water is pumping in, it's not trying to push back out to go outside the hose. And there's a shut off. Like if this ever does fail, like I did add a shut off towards the other end of this hose where you do your fill for your city water. But anyways, from here we have our T. It comes up, it shoots up, it tees off. This T runs over to this T right here, which supplies both the hot water heater and eventually for our sink. So that's where that tees off. And then from there goes up to our mix. This is the cold side and this is the hot side. And of course, once the water goes to the cold, goes to the hot water heater, we have hot water that come out. This tees to the eventual sink, and this comes up towards the mix for the shower. And then from there, they combine and shoot out right there, and we have running water. We have running water once I put water in the water tanks. Everything is situated right now where I can actually go and do like a test to make sure things aren't gonna leak. Like I probably know there's like a couple fittings that might be, they're quite questionable, that might leak. But we're at the point right now, since I do have like caps at these ends where the water will go for the sink, we could test all the way to this point so we can know that everything in the system is good to go up to that point. We don't want water leaks inside. That's mildew, that's mold, that's rot of the wood, so we don't want that. But yeah, we're done. We're definitely close. We got our shower situated. That's gonna be a big step. even if we don't have our sink here, if we could get like even just a test on that, get water in here. And I don't have a filter. Like I do have a filter, and I'm contemplating putting it like in line, like right here, so that way I could change it in and out, like from inside. Just take off the panel right here and be able to switch it out. So that's at a later date. But like right now, everything is just set up just to test. And then even with the test, like if I want to go through and sanitize all the lines, usually you're supposed to replace your filter anyway after that. If you're using like a bleach mixture or whatever, you're supposed to replace your filter. So like I don't even want to put the filter in until like after that, after we test, after we make sure everything is good, and possibly clean the tanks and do all that stuff. But right now we're good. We're done. I appreciate you for watching. Hopefully this has helped. I hope you've been following like the progress from the beginning. If you do, if you have been, I do appreciate it. And that's what we have for this video. For the next video, I'm not too sure what we have. If it's going to be a water pressure or check for leaks or what, or paint. Like I'm in the middle of everything. We're trying to get this done. But until next Wednesday. So until next Wednesday, decide what you're going to do. Set it in your mind, write it in stone, and follow through. Because like this right here, I was expecting to take as long as it has, but we're getting there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Be persistent. Peace, TJ.